Now the issue that everyone is talking about,
Oh, yeah.
very controversial. What side are you on, Drake or Kendrick?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to figure that out today. I was afraid you were going to ask me that question.
What's up, guys? We're here with a very special guest today, presidential candidate and doctor.
Jill Stein.
And you are with the Green Party?
I am indeed.
Why are you running?
What is the Green Party and what do you guys stand for?
So, Green Party is kind of a people-powered party as opposed to the war industry and the war profiteer-powered parties, which are delivering war and oligarchy and genocide and and jobs that don't pay squat and housing that you can't afford and a healthcare crisis. Those are the other parties that are sponsored by all the profiteers that benefit from those crises. And so the Green Party is a people-powered party. We don't take corporate PAC money. We don't have a super PAC. We don't use the special loopholes so that billionaires can throw in, $600,000 in a single check, which is what, the Democrats and Republicans do. So they've got big corporate players that are pulling the strings from the inside, and what you get is what we have, which is an all-out disaster of crushing inequality, climate collapse, endless war, genocide, and the collapse of any semblance of a democracy. So we are fighting, of, by, and for the people. We want to end the genocide now. We want to end the endless wars.
What do you say to people that are voting between the lesser of two evils in this election?
I say it's time to fight for the greater good and forget the lesser evil, because good luck figuring out which one is the lesser evil. We are the one campaign that is anti-war, anti-genocide, pro-worker, and climate emergency. So we are essentially the sole opposition and voice of the American people in this race, which is why they want to keep us off of the ballot.
So I heard you got arrested at a protest recently.
This
right?
is true, yeah.
Thug life, I see that, yeah. You do one of these and then one of these. Can you tell us about how you got arrested and why?
We had a campaign event just a couple blocks from the university, and there were a lot of students there who just spoke eloquently about what they're doing, asserting our constitutional rights, our freedom of speech, and our right to protest and to petition for redress of grievances, and who are expressing the opinions, really, of the majority of the American people, not to mention the majority of the world and the International Court of Justice and the United Nations and so on. They were just there expressing support for that and demanding that the university be held to account for funding this genocide through some of their contracts. It's known that these weapons are being used to kill women and children especially. To make a long story short, as the tensions grew, they asked us to join their line. Didn't help. In fact, it seemed to make us a target. They basically assaulted us, and me in particular, with a bicycle that was being used as a battering ram to try to push us over and to knock us, back on our heads. And as they were doing that, and I was just like barely maintaining my balance, one of the cops bent down and picked up one of my feet to to deliver the final blow.
Like some wrestling, WWE.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Hit you with the RKO.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And as I sort of struggled to regain my balance and pulled out of his grip, he then yelled at me, "You're under arrest for assaulting a police officer."
Oh, wow.
Now, isn't that kind of what we would expect from a police force that's been trained by the Israeli occupation forces? The American people don't like this, and that's why we're in this race to stand up for what it is that the American people want.
So now the issue that everyone is talking about,
Oh, yeah.
very controversial. What side are you on, Drake or Kendrick?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to figure that out today. I was afraid you were going to ask me that question. I think definitely Macklemore. Yeah.
Macklemore?
Yes.
So you're kind of like Macklemore. You're kind of working, your third party.
Yeah, and Free Palestine. Yeah, they go together.
And if you win, you would be the first woman president, but also the first Jewish president.
That's right. Yes.
Is it anti-Semitic to criticize Israel?
To my mind, it is anti-Semitic to suggest that it's anti-Semitic to criticize genocide. To my mind, that is the most anti-Semitic thing that one can say, to imply that it's okay with Jews and Judaism for genocide to be conducted. I think it does actually put Jews at risk around the world for saddling Jews and the Jewish religion with this horrific genocide being falsely carried out, you know, in the name of Judaism. This is not about Judaism, this is about Zionism. And just take a look at any of the encampments where, you know, Jewish Voice for Peace and Jews for Palestine, the campus organizations are leading the charge, you know, hand in hand with our Muslim and Christian and atheist brothers and sisters who are all standing up together for the humanity that we deserve.
What is a conspiracy theory you believe in?
A conspiracy theory? Gosh, you know, conspiracy theories, that's a name that gets attached to things that the power structure doesn't like. So I'd say, you know, look at the value of the argument, period.
IMF, the World Bank.
Name 3 countries in Africa.
In Africa, all right. So how about South Africa? How about Rwanda? How about Tanzania?
And
Malawi, Mali,
nice.
Sudan, Algeria, Egypt. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on.
That's good. Can you name 3 countries in the Middle East?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I mean, written in blood, you know, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. You know, whatever country you're from in the Middle East, we owe you a big apology.
Could you name 3 countries that start with P?
Okay. All right, hang on. Panama, Paraguay, Palau. Yeah, Palau's a country.
Is Jill Stein for Palestine?
Jill Stein is most definitely for Palestine, yes.
How do you feel about what's going on in Gaza?
As the super Orthodox rabbis say, what's going on is extremely anti-Jewish, that it is really a violation of Jewish values to be committing a genocide. Very, you know, put very simply, this is not a religious conflict.
Yeah.
This is an issue of Zionism, which is, you know, has been a practice of ethnic cleansing from the get-go. Ethnic cleansing invariably pushes towards genocide. And let me say that the Palestinians have been telling it like it is from the start, but that was validated when Israel's own historic records became public documents and were examined by Israeli historians, notably Ilan Pepe, and that whole generation of Israeli historians that began to actually shine daylight on what the plan was here from the get-go. And as the Jews who lived in Palestine for centuries at peace with their Muslim and Christian neighbors, that the problem began when the Zionists came in and basically began a terror campaign to practice ethnic cleansing. So it's a big wake-up moment, I think, for the Jewish community, and I'm glad to say that a lot of people are having their eyes opened right now and understanding this is not about Judaism or defending Judaism. This is a problem of Zionism, which is incompatible with international law and human rights. So that's what needs to change. This is an eminently solvable problem the minute we all step up to our responsibilities as part of the human community. I was raised as a Jew right after the Holocaust in the 1950s in a Jewish suburb, attending a Jewish synagogue, going to Sunday school, so-called, on a weekly basis until I was 15. And the whole community was kind of coming to terms with genocide at that time, and what did the Holocaust mean, and how terrible it is that human beings can do this to each other. And how our community came to terms with it was by resolving that genocide should never happen again, not to anyone. And that's the name of the game. The religion doesn't matter here. The issue is that a genocide is being committed in the name of a religion, but it is an abuse of that name. And that's what needs to be stopped. And part of what I was taught was that genocide is not just the responsibility of the perpetrator, it's also the responsibility of the bystander. And in this case, the U.S. is a perpetrator. We are a perpetrator here. We make every step of this genocide possible, and it could be shut down in the blink of an eye by Joe Biden, just doing what Ronald Reagan did in the 1980s when Ronald Reagan told Israel, you have to stop the bombing, bring your army back from Lebanon, stop slaughtering innocent women and children. And Menachem Begin, the president at the time, immediately complied. Joe Biden can do that. He has the responsibility to do that. This blood is on his hands, and if we don't stop him, this blood is on our hands. So that's why I'm encouraging people to think of our battle in New York right now, the last stand of empire to shut down our democracy. This is one of the most effective things we can do right now, because getting on the ballot is a shot across the bow of Joe Biden and both war parties.
So tell us about the New York ballot and how people can help you get on the ballot.
Thank you so much. So New York is empire's last stand. This is where the empire is trying to basically shut down their grassroots people-powered competition by creating these outrageous rules for ballot access. It's like crazy that American people are clamoring for more choices, but here goes, this was actually the Democratic Party that orchestrated this to basically shut down the potential for choices in this election by keeping challengers off the ballot. If you're a Democrat or a Republican, you're basically grandfathered in here once you get the nomination of your party. But for us as an independent party that doesn't take marching orders from the empire and the war industry, we have to jump through all kinds of hoops here, which is how they basically shut us down. And in New York, they tripled the requirement, which is now 45,000 signatures in 6 weeks. But because they're throwing out these signatures as fast as they can, if they find that your voter registration has your middle name, but your signature only has your middle initial, they will seize on that as a ridiculous technicality to throw you off. So we got to double the numbers, basically. If we want to be secure, we need essentially 90,000 signatures in 6 weeks. So this is the worst of all the states. There are others with high numbers, but you have months to get those signatures. So this is designed to fail.
So how can people get their signature?
So if you go to JillStein2024.com and just sign up. If you're in New York, if you're a registered voter in New York, we need you to sign the petition. Join the team. It's a team to stop genocide. It's a team to stop the climate catastrophe. It's a team to end endless wars, to stop this crushing inequality that gets worse by the hour. This is a team for an America and a world that works for all of us. So come on board and let's rescue the future together. We're unstoppable. It was really a pleasure.
Thug life.
Yeah.